News, taking action for you.
What happens to renters when disaster strikes? Tampa tenants are finding out the hard way. Florida law offers little protection when their home is damaged and they have to get out.
Well, sadly, these types of stories have been coming into our newsroom more and more, it seems. Tonight, we're bringing you another as Taking Action reporter Jackie Calloway steps in to help a local school teacher and single mom after her apartment ceiling caved in.
Moving when you're prepared to move is one thing. Moving at the drop of a dime is something completely different.
Temple Terrace teacher Tiara Brown's life turned upside down in the middle of the night.
I'm in bed sleeping and I hear like the sound of water running. I flicked the light on, and in the same moment that the light came on, the ceiling collapsed.
Without warning, water-soaked insulation and most of the hallway ceiling crashed to the floor.
And I was just so thankful that it didn't hit me. 5 seconds later, I would have been standing there when it came down.
Tiara ran into her 8-year-old son's room and got him out of the apartment.
We had to climb through here all over the insulation.
She called the complex's emergency line. A crew came out, cleaned up the insulation, and taped off the ceiling. They also gutted a shower wall and removed the sink in the unit's only bathroom.
There was a leak in there, so they had to take out everything.
Mother and son were left with no working bathroom, but that wasn't the only reason Tiara decided the unit was uninhabitable.
I couldn't come in here without coughing almost immediately, and my son has respiratory issues.
She says she asked management to cover the cost of a hotel while repairs were made.
And then they just said, oh, no, you can live there during this time while the repairs are being made. You can live there.
In this case, the damage was not enough to trigger a renter's insurance claim. Tiara's son, Abe, went to stay with his dad, and she moved in with a friend.
There's no specific provision in the landlord-tenant law that says a landlord shall provide shelter in the event of an emergency.
Tom DeFiore with Bay Area Legal Services says tenants who find themselves vacating after an emergency are on their own. Those who bought renter's insurance may get reimbursed for a hotel room as well as the damaged items.
What the tenant can do is save their receipts, their bills, and then possibly have a damage claim against the landlord later.
So you're saying really their only recourse is small claims court down the road?
Correct.
What about the paid rent money? Tiara says she paid for February in full days before the ceiling came down on the 6th.
In the email that I sent them, and I said, okay, I understand this has happened, but what are you doing to help me? Because I paid you to live here.
And she tells me property management offered to let her move into another unit, but refused to refund any of February's rent or pay for the move. No one answered the office door at Summit West, and they did not respond to my emails. But after our contact, Tiara says management offered to let her out of her lease and refund the days in February she was unable to occupy the apartment.
And I was like, oh my gosh, I was just like so relieved in that moment, and just so thankful.
For tenants who find themselves living in a damaged unit and dealing with an owner who's slow to make repairs, they should contact code enforcement. An inspector will come out, examine the property, and if necessary, order the landlord to fix the problems. But even in those cases, tenants still have to pay the rent. I'm Jackie Calloway, taking action for you.
All right, time now.